For Georgia Southern, for more on that, the third member of our team, Larisha Harris.
Well, during my conversation with Shai Werts this week, he told me he's not the same player or person that he was this time last year. That's largely in part to him being falsely charged with possession of a substance during the summer of 2019. Those charges, however, were dropped, but Shai admitted that he dealt with bouts of depression and anxiety because of that incident, and that did affect him on the field. Fast forward a year later, and he's now a new person. He's used his voice, his voice and himself, and has led the charge for the Eagles when it comes to the fight for social justice.
Larisha, thank you. Talented player, one of the best running quarterbacks in all of college football. Can't wait to see this Eagles offense get back on the field tonight after a loss to Coastal Carolina. They said they are hungry and love the short work week after last week. This has been the Nissan pregame rush. So Golic Jr., here we are again on a Thursday night, beautiful night in Statesboro, Georgia. We've got Jalen Tolbert deep to receive. Georgia Southern won the toss. They will defer their decision to the second half. And Alex Rayner set to kick off. We've got triple option. We've got talented receivers. We've got Thursday night football. Settle in. Kickoff now on ESPN. And a fair catch. That's where we see Desmond Trotter in this South Alabama offense. This is a quarterback we didn't see the first time we called South Alabama. He is talented. He can throw. He can make plays.
Plenty of athletic genes in the family. And showing up, he started to make big-time plays. You might be familiar with his grandfather, the Hall of Famer Ozzie Newsome, that he looks up to. And how about that? One band, one heartbeat, one sound. We'll see if he can orchestrate this South Alabama offense tonight. Very excited about the playmaking ability on display.
Drumline, how about that? The rhythm of the offense goes through Desmond Trotter. He can do a little bit of everything, and we are excited to see him play tonight. Carlos Davis in the backfield for the Jaguars on 1st and 10. The fake to Davis. Trotter going to throw, has to step up into the pocket. And a gain of 4 on 1st down. Trotter's got the ability to come back, throw one deep, but he's also got some good ability with his feet, which is why he can be difficult to defend.
He does. Talented quarterback, a career-high 4 touchdowns accounted for versus Louisiana Monroe. And that right there, the ability to take off and make plays in the scramble, going to be huge against the stout Georgia Southern defense.
We also expect to see Chance Lovertich tonight. They've been using a couple of quarterbacks throughout the season. Now 2nd down, and that's the give to Davis. He was met in the backfield, but is able to fight for a couple of yards. Tackled on the play by Anthony Wilson.
And now you set up a manageable 3rd and 1 here. And Desmond Trotter, you mentioned, not just in the scramble, but the design quarterback run game. This offense loves to move Kawan Baker around, to bring these tight ends across the line of scrimmage and create confusion for this fast flow linebackers.
And they'll elect to go with Davis again, who bounces outside. Nice cut by Davis. That'll be enough for the 1st down. Tackled on the play by Darrell Baker. And South Alabama, right out of the gate, will move the chains. And a gain of 11.
And Carlos Davis does a great job of hitting this run up inside, originally getting the defense to commit, and then knowing he's got the ability to bounce that one outside as the defense caves in. You saw Darrell Baker on the outside, not having contained, not keeping him on the inside, and now they get a great 1st down.
Turian Avery now in the backfield for the Jags. And a 1st and 10 end around as Trotter's going to keep it himself. Not much doing. Tackled immediately by number 44, Justin Ellis.
And Matt, I really think this is the key for South Alabama early on. Rashad Byrd, Raynard Ellis, great linebackers, downhill. They're going to move sideline to sideline. They want to run on this defense, so give them something to look at. Colin Lacey coming across that, going to buy up their eyes so your quarterback's got room to run.
A lot of pride in what this defense did last week for the Eagles against Coastal Carolina, namely in the 1st half. Thought they played well enough to win. And another example of that there, and a tackle for loss on the play, tackled by Kennedy.
Tackled by Kennedy, but this starts with number 12, Anthony Wilson. Watch him shooting down in here, past the tight end in the backfield, gets the running back to stutter his feet a little bit. and then McGee can come in and clean that up.
Zion McGee on the tackle. So 3rd and 10.
And now this is a spot where you start to look for Kawan Baker early on the field, a great 3rd down receiver.
Trotter, pressured, steps up into the pocket, has some room to run, and Desmond Trotter is going to pick up a big gain on 3rd and down to again move the chains for the Jags. Nice job by Trotter to feel the pressure, climb the pocket, and get the 1st down.
Feels the pressure, but sees man coverage everywhere else. Look at all the DBs running with their wide receivers. Baker coming across the field, and so he knows I've got man coverage. I'm going to have room to run when I see pressure. A great weapon for this offense.
24 yards on the play, 2nd consecutive 1st down for the Jags on their opening series. Some weird movement at the snap. That's Davis off the right side. He's met by a host of defenders. Led on that play by number 36. And number 21, Zion McGee.
South Alabama trying to push the snap count a little bit there, and it looked like the offense wasn't ready. We saw the defense struggling to get the call in, struggling to communicate. You've got to be able to take advantage of that as an offense, especially as you get closer and closer to the red zone.
Loss of 5 on the play, bringing up a 2nd and 15.
This is a great job using the snap count. Number 47, Randy Wade, going to be the tipper for a lot of this in the boundary, their outside linebacker.
Trotter, pressured, hit, passing complete, intended for Trent Tyer. Pressured on the play by number 42, Dylan Springer.
Dylan Springer and Raymond Johnson. 0, the big fella working it in. Watch, you see him get the arm over on the offensive lineman. Get a hit, 5 QB hurries on the season, adds 6 right there, gets a shot at the arm and puts them in a 3rd and 15 where they could pin their ears back on defense.
Raymond Johnson, according to the coaches, the no-questioned alpha leader of this defense. Now 3rd and 15. See if South Alabama can convert for a 3rd time. Trotter, quick swing outside to Kawan Baker. Baker, their playmaker, gets out of bounds at around the 35.
And it's a great job. It starts up front. Rashad Byrd, number 45, their veteran linebacker. Get up, make the quarterback think after that first look at the snap. All right, we might be getting pressure. He bluffs out. They're sitting back waiting in zone for this screen. Easy job for the defense to come up and tackle and force a field goal here.
So after a couple of 1st downs, it's going to be Diego Guajardo on for the field goal attempt. 54-yard attempt by Guajardo. Has the leg, and what about Diego Guajardo? 54-yard field goal for South Alabama. Opening drive for the Jags. No college kicker situation here. Guajardo, sticks, split them. 3-0, South Alabama. Moon. In a series between South Alabama, Georgia Southern. 7th all-time meeting. Georgia Southern's won every single game. South Alabama had never beat them.
And that point differential makes it seem like they're miles apart, but last year this was an overtime game. Came all the way down to the end, so South Alabama really feels like they've got an opportunity to make noise here.
Yeah, South Alabama's got that edge to them, like you said in the open, perhaps feeling like they haven't played anybody. Wesley Kennedy, the all-everything returner, is going to take a fair catch, 25-yard line. That's where we get our first look at Shai Werts, one of the most talented running quarterbacks in all of FBS. He's athletic, and he runs this triple offense. The 5th-year senior has the experience.
He does. The only active FBS quarterback with over 2,500 career rushing yards, making his 41st start, the most of any active FBS quarterback as well. And again, good genes, cousin of Seattle Mariners pitcher Carl Edwards Jr. Going to look to air it out some tonight. The play-action pass, still a big part of softening up these front looks for their offense.
They will tell you we don't pass because we have to. We want to pass because we want to. And early on the pitch, we saw Kennedy was going to get the ball immediately. And Wesley Kennedy, the 3rd, chunk play, 1st down, Georgia Southern.
You want to get to know the triple option, you get it all right here on one play. A.J. DeShazer goes and declares on the quarterback, and he pushes him all the way up to the edge. The quarterback, you got to stress that defender when you get to the outside, and an easy pitch for a guy they would love to see get the ball a ton in Wesley Kennedy.
Gain of 23, quick hitter there for the Eagles. 1st and 10, just shy of the 50. Wirtz gonna pull it out. Looks, throws, gonna keep it himself, calls for a blocker, slides down. And wanted a flag on the play after the slide. Tackled by number 5, Trey Young.
And as a defender here, you've got to be careful because, Matt, we've seen plenty of targeting called in college football for plays just like that. Doesn't appear to lower the crown there, but when you make it even close, you give these officials something that they're trained to look for.
Candidly surprised they didn't pull a flag out on that one, as cautious as they are around college football now. That's a gain of 3, now 2nd and 7. Wirtz to keeper, doesn't pitch, ball's loose. Kennedy there, able to fall on it. And that's a ball bouncing your way as Riley Cole was near to scoop. But how about Wesley Kennedy, right place, right time?
How about Keith Gallman putting his head on the football there, knowing your responsibilities on defense. Keith Gallman, who was tied for the team league in tackles last week with 7 against Louisiana Monroe, comes up and sticks it to a very experienced quarterback.
That brings up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 14. Wirtz able to climb the pocket, defense there, and he's just going to throw that away. That falls incomplete. And that is a statement series out of this Jaguars defense.
No frills. When we talked to Greg Stewart, the defensive coordinator for South Alabama, on a short week going up against a triple option offense, you simplify, you rep it, and you let your kids go out there and cut it loose. That's what we saw. A defense pinning their ears back and playing, understanding their responsibilities in drive 1.
So Anthony back on the punt for Georgia Southern. Colin Lacey deep to receive for South Alabama. Lacey, fair catch at the 20. And so what we heard out of the Jaguars all week, we're 2-0 in conference play, but everyone's saying we're not playing anybody, not getting any respect, and at least for the first couple of possessions, 3 points on offense, 3 and out on defense.
And you understand why the conversation's there. They understand that their 3 wins, their opponents have combined 2-19 on the season so far. But Matt, you and I got to see these guys against UAB earlier in the season, and this is a team that has grown in confidence and its physicality up front.
Add in, this is their first real road trip of the season. And Trotter and the Jags have an opportunity. The quick throw to Tolbert, a nice gain on 1st down. Looks like a gain of 8.
And this is what they're going to have all night. This defense for Georgia Southern, their corners love to play off the line of scrimmage. And so you take what's there underneath. You've got great yak receivers, those yards after catch.
Trotter on a boot across the middle. What a catch, good hit. But Jalen Wayne hangs on, flag on the play. The hit leveled by Kendrick Duncan.
Personal foul, roughing the passing. Defense, number 45. Low hit to the quarterback. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. Automatic 1st down.
Rashad Byrd flagged here for late hit on Trotter. And we know Lowen after the throw. But Matt, you know in modern football, I understand somewhere defenders everywhere are cringing, but modern football, protecting these quarterbacks, protecting the moneymakers, that's why those rules are in place.
So 1st and 10 now, 47-yard line. And it'll be Trotter again to throw, and again right out to Jalen Wayne, who makes a couple of defenders miss. And another nice gain on 1st down, another gain of 8.
And they keep taking what's there underneath, basically daring Georgia Southern to press their defensive backs up, because once you get somebody walked up on the line of scrimmage, matched up against Jalen Tolbert or Kawan Baker, that's when the home run shots start to come for this offense, not afraid to go deep.
Like the tempo out of the Jags here on this possession, 2nd and 2. Play fake to Davis, up top to Wayne. Falls incomplete, flagged on the play. Darrell Baker in coverage, and he'll get flagged for pass interference.
And an easy call. They saw that matchup, pressed up on our wide receivers. We're going to let them
Pass
go.
interference, defense, number 15-yard penalty.
You see the grabbing and holding right there. Make it easy for the official who's got a great look at it.
Tell you what, right now Kenny Edenfield's seen something on offense, the offensive coordinator for the Jags, and he's called 4 consecutive throws. And they're taking advantage
Correction,
of
the fourth on number 4, the offense. That's pass interference, offense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Flipped the call
Correction, 2nd down.
and called pass interference on Jalen Wayne.
And I guess he's seeing an arm extended out the other way. I thought a balled-up fistful of jersey indicated holding. 2nd and long now.
What's it say about the call when we can make the argument for both sides? Pass tipped, caught, Jalen Tolbert. Covered on the play by Baker.
So again, now around the 50-yard line, you've got 3rd and a considerable distance. You've got a field goal kicker with a leg you trust. You can go for before the sticks, play for 4 downs on this one. Get yourself up there again. I'm looking Kawan Baker in the slot down on this side of the field. We saw screen last time. Let's attack downfield with some of the space you're going to have on the outside.
We saw our boy Diego Guajardo hit a 54-yard field goal on the first possession for South Alabama. Ball spotted at the 50. Trotter pressure. It has to roll right. He's going to keep it and get hit. Tackle for no gain. Chris Harris forced the pressure.
Just nowhere to go. Defense drops 8, rushes 3, but they've got the spy. They've made that decision with Harris to keep him with eyes on Desmond Trotter after getting burned on that first drive with the QB scrambling versus man coverage.
So not enough yardage by a not enough. That none. So we won't see Diego Guajardo. We'll see Jack Brooks on the punt. Wesley Kennedy deep for the Eagles. Kennedy able to get it off. Kennedy Brooks there. The fair catch at the 12-yard line. That's where we'll see Shai Werts, the Georgia Southern offense, when we come back.
ESPN College Football is brought to you by the all-new Tech Forward 2020 Lincoln Corsair and Pizza Hut. Order today at pizzahut.com.
Erk Russell, head coach at Georgia Southern, 1982 and 89. He used to headbutt players, bare head to helmet. And so that's the tradition, the statue, as you see their current head coach, Chad Lunsford, 3rd full season on the job as Erk Russell. In fact, the last time Georgia Southern had a game nationally televised on ESPN, National Championship, 1989, Erk's final game.
3 of those 1A, AA championships. A proud tradition here, an epic story, as their current head coach Chad Lunsford called it.
I think you put it perfectly that Erk Russell just looks like football. So 1st and 10, 12-yard line, Shai Werts and company to give right up the middle to J.D. King. Chad Lunsford named interim coach back in 2017. This is 3rd full season. One of the unique stories in college football. Didn't play college football. He said that's led to him having a chip on his shoulder with a lot to prove, and it's guided him along the way.
One of 10 head coaches at the FBS level, and it's a reminder that we've seen plenty of highly successful coaches that never played the game at the college level. He's got a great understanding in all aspects. He's had jobs as a recruiting coordinator, working on that side, knowing what it takes to lead the charge.
So 2nd and 7, gain of 3 on 1st down. Werts the fake, boots right, throws right, caught and hit immediately. Injured player on the play. That was Bo Johnson, the tight end, who caught the ball and was hit immediately.
You saw him fall awkwardly after getting hit from the outside.
All right, so we'll let them tend to Johnson. We'll come back, see what's up with him. Junior, Larisha Harris back with you as Bo Johnson, the tight end, is being taken into the medical tent after a hit from Davin Flanord. And they talk about this all the time, Golic Jr., with this offense, how valuable the tight end is.
They told us outside of quarterback, that cruiser, that tight end spot, the most important position in this triple option offense.
Now 3rd and 7 for the Eagles. Wirtz to throw. Has to scramble left out of the pocket, and again, he will be forced out of bounds. And again, Eagles are going to have to punt.
And this is the job Greg Stewart, the defensive coordinator for South Alabama, talked about. You beat this team winning on 1st and 2nd down. If you can get them out of 3rd and 4s into 3rd and 8+, all of a sudden they're out of the norm. We see, yeah, Shai Wirtz has the ability to drop back and pass, but that's not what they major in, and you saw that discomfort with cutting it loose, rolling away from his throwing arm there.
Greg Stewart, old school defensive coordinator. Short week preparing for this offense again as Beck punting from his own end zone to Colin Lacey. Lacey at the 40-yard line. That's where he'll there catch it. Saturday, got a good football game. ABC, Penn State, Ohio State, 7:30 Eastern. ABC and the ESPN app. We've seen so many classics in this game between the Buckeyes and Nittany Lions. When you talk about Ohio State, it stops and starts with Justin Fields. Remarkable week 1 for the Buckeyes.
And for Sean Clifford and Penn State trying to shake off that upset against Indiana. They put up a ton of yards, over 500 yards of offense, but it's got to come early and at the right times to avoid getting down in that situation. Big time red zone game for the Nittany Lions.
I'll tell you what, Fields and the Buckeyes look like they're on a mission as Trotter hands it off to Davis off the left side. Tackled on the play by number 2, Javon Jackson. By Anthony Wilson on the tackle. Gain of 5.
And this is one of the big differences this year, Matt. They're on the road and they're able to use their normal snap count and cadence, not having these big crowds, giving offenses a chance even as they travel.
Again, it's Davis off tackle. Flag on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 47. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's the tight end, Trent Tyer, called for holding.
This is an offense that Brandon and Rave, when we talked to this coaching staff, whether it was Steve Campbell, Kenny Edenfield, their offensive coordinator, they said these 2 tight ends, number 20, Brandon Crum, number 47, Trent Tyer, a spitting image of our coaching staff. These guys love ball, and this coaching staff loves to get them involved in a variety of different ways.
Saw Tyer 1 target already. He's flagged there for holding. Steve Campbell having a conversation to find out what happened. Ball at the 35, 2nd and 15 for Trotter. The quick throw to Baker, and he's able to find some wiggle room up the middle. And a nice gain there after the holding, tackled by 94, C.J. Wright.
Both teams have found themselves behind the chains, penalties and early down, so being able to make up that yardage there and get to a 3rd and 5 where now you can move the pocket. We just talked about Trent Tyer, their tight end, number 47 at the top. They'll get him involved in the passing game, get Desmond Trotter rolling, and try and see if they can get some levels against this defense.
South Alabama balanced on offense, 16 total ball plays, 7 throws, 8 runs, and that to give to Tyer. Quick throw. Caught down by number 14. Good tackle by Baker.
4th and 3 near your 50, the way you've been playing offense. I like to play video game football, Matt. We've been fortunate in a lot of the action we've got here, some video game offenses. But the way your defense has been playing for South Alabama, pin them back and try and play the field game position early. for South Alabama.
And they will. They'll bring out Jack Brooks to punt. Kennedy deep to receive. Brooks drops one inside the 10. Kennedy's going to fair catch that at the 6-yard line. That's going to be Caleb Hood, who actually back there deep to receive the punt. He's going to fair catch it there. So good job. Look, in a game like this, we're trying to feel each other out in the first quarter. You had said it. Defense has played well. Offense has scored points, but pin them deep. Make Georgia Southern prove that they can move the ball on you, because to this point they haven't.
And Georgia Southern's been airing it out more on early downs than we expected. Now, they'd only run 6 plays, but we counted 2 passes in the first 6 plays run on offense. I want to see them get back to their bread and butter, especially backed up like this. Put the ball in the hands of your quarterback and let him make the decisions to get you out of here in this triple option.
Establish it with J.D. King. Get the ball to Wesley Kennedy. And on first down, it is Kennedy up the middle. And a great run by Wesley Kennedy and a big gain on first down.
And Matt, in this offense, you need tendency breakers. 12's usually the pitch man. They use him as the dive player here. And the defense doesn't crash down. You hand the ball up to 12, who we're used to seeing Wesley Kennedy on the perimeter. You've got to change it up so the defense can't keep who's the fullback dive player every time.
Gain of 18, ball at the 25. Coaching staff was not shy about saying they are going to move Kennedy all over the field to get him the ball. Some life now for the Eagles. Wirtz going to keep it. Looks towards his pitch man. Keeps it himself, and a nice gain by Shai Wirtz. That was option football perfect. J.D. King, the pitch man. Wirtz keeps it, gets a first down.
And Wirtz, again, stressing the linebacker. He sees 46 trying to cover him from the inside out. Keeps stressing the edge and says he has the angle. He feels and understands where the defense is playing him from in that look. Now they're in rhythm. Now they're going forward into this second quarter, feeling a little more like the Georgia Southern offense we're used to.
Gain of 18, gain of 12. That's a quick 30 yards to end the first quarter as Georgia Southern finding a little rhythm with that offense. Down 3-0 to South Alabama. We'll be back for the second quarter after this. The second quarter, South Alabama up 3-0, but Georgia Southern doing what they said they were going to do, which is get Wesley Kennedy the ball.
Quarterback making great decisions. Used to seeing him as the pitch man, but you got to change it up so the defense can't key in on who the dive player is. That time, you put the ball in 12's hands as that first read in the triple option, that dive read. And he's accounted for 41 of the 51 yards for Southern so far.
We expect to see him used as the way he was in the first quarter. Coaches want to put him in the slot. Again, you saw the kick return last week. Kind of got him a little bit of national attention. And he's looking to take advantage of that again tonight as we begin the second quarter. Southern with the ball. Shai Wirtz, the keeper off the left side. Short gain.
Matt, they actually snuck Kennedy in at quarterback on that play. So they weren't kidding. Now putting him in, this quarterback, normally that backfield set, we see pass out of this offense when Shai Wirtz is in there instead, giving him a look at that Wildcat quarterback.
Gain of 4, play worked. And it's Kennedy again. Touch after touch, and another gain of 4 for Wesley Kennedy.
And they look a little surer of themselves again now, Matt. We saw that ball get punched out on Shai Wirtz earlier in this drive. Your experienced quarterback, triple option offense, sometimes that can rattle everyone, get you out of that play calling rhythm of doing what you do best that we've seen on this drive.
The South Alabama defense said they're not young anymore. Early on in the season, talking about how it was a young unit. They've done a good job containing this offense early on. Wirtz, the keeper, sneaks it out the pitch, and that is perfectly executed to J.D. King. And another first down for the Jags, tackled by Keon Boyson.
And an unbelievable job by Wirtz. Watch him go under the pulling guard, setting up what sometimes works in that little shovel pass in the Andy Reid offense where you've got the quarterback following the guard. He gets underneath, gets the pitch out to J.D. King, who's used to getting those muddy yards up the middle in this offense.
Boyson and Gallman on the tackle, gain of 17. And coming out of the end of the first quarter, now starting the second, you start to see this offense in rhythm. Wirtz, keep, King, catch. And a gain of 4.
When we talked to this coaching staff about J.D. King, number 15, they said when he stepped on campus, the Oklahoma State transfer, he made everyone around him better instantly. They thought he knew everyone's name on the team within 48 hours of being there. He just has that effect of constantly lifting the energy of this group.
5'11", 220-pound senior. And to your point, he engraced himself to his teammates right away. And Wirtz is going to be hit immediately, but finds his receiver. What a play by Darian Anderson, and Wirtz did a good job knowing he was going to get hit. Hangs in there and finds Anderson for a gain of 22.
Stands in, takes the hit, and this is some of the maturity they said they've seen out of Shai. His ability to stand in, make a tough throw in the face of pressure. And you see on the outside and the other side, the defensive back bites up on the run fake immediately. There's nothing but room around Darian Anderson.
It was A.J. DeSazer who forced the hit on Wirtz. And that was a good example of throw when we want to, not when we have to. And that's Kennedy who's going to bounce it outside. Tackled by a host of Jags on the play, led by Nick Mobley. Flag on the play.
Holding. Offense, number 51. 10-yard. Second down.
Aaron Dowdell, the left guard. Flag for holding.
Matt, one of the biggest differences that you see from Georgia Southern as opposed to, let's say, the service academies that run the under center triple option is the offensive linemen aren't in those opposite hand stances, running out low, crab blocking, cutting knees out every play like we had to do back when I was in practice, and we're giving our defense a look going up against them on scout. You're not cutting them out. These guys are going to block you square up on the front of that line, get you into some of those holes.
And I thought that was interesting. Triple option out of the shotgun as opposed to triple option under center. After the holding, now 1st and 20. Wirtz going to throw immediately and misfires to Kennedy. So this offense, it has old school roots with kind of a new school execution.
And that's the difficulty, is you're going to get normal spread sets like we just got there mixed in. So as a defender, every time the offense breaks the huddle, you're looking and saying, all right, based on this formation, am I expecting this package of plays, triple option plays, normal spread plays, and having to adjust quickly.
So 2nd and 20. The rhythm a little bit halted here after a good drive. Wirtz going to look left, throw left, has Kennedy open out of the backfield. And a nice gain for the Eagles. Let's go down to Larisha Harris for an update on Bo Johnson.
Well, guys, just found out that the tight end, number 11, Bo Johnson, went down with a lower left leg injury, and he has now been ruled out for the remainder of the game. We saw him go down in the first quarter.
It's a shame for a player that means so much for this offense. Cam Brown, one of the tight ends listed behind him, is going to have to step up now without Bo Johnson's services available.
You see those tight ends leaking out on the backside of these option plays, blocking for the quarterbacks as now we get a 3rd and 10 passing situation again. All eyes on 12, wherever he is.
That's Malik Murray in motion. Wirtz going to keep it himself, and he's going to be tackled. What a play there by number 24, Sean Jennings, whose hat falls off after the hit. That's Jennings down after delivering the hit. Helmet popped off. Able to pop up after the play. Got a designed run for Wirtz. That's how it looked.
It did, and you see him lowering the head there and catching a knee on the way down. Always a good reminder, eyes up, hit what you see, or see what you hit. But in that instance, making a play and get the field goal team out there after a great drive for Georgia Southern all the way down there, sustained and methodical, to end it with a kick. A huge win for South Alabama's defense.
So there's a timeout on the field. A 29-yard field goal attempt coming up for Alex Rayner. We'll see that here on the other side of the break. Back on campus, Georgia Southern, Statesboro, Georgia. Current drive, 10 plays, 81 yards. And a 29-yard field goal attempt coming up out of Alex Rayner to try to tie this game at 3 apiece. They got a live eagle that hangs out, by the way.
Bald eagles.
Yeah. It's Freedom.
Makes you feel good on a Thursday night.
Freedom
The eagle flying
We'll
around.
show that fellow later. Off the hash mark. Snap good. Rayner kick. Also good. And we have a tie ball game at 3 apiece. Let's take a look now at this week's college football rankings. Brought to you by PlayStation 5. Same as it ever was up top. Clemson and Alabama. Buckeyes play last week and they beat down Nebraska, get Penn State this week, number 3. And then old Notre Dame. This is our weekly Notre Dame segment for Golic Jr. Go ahead and sell me on something.
We got Pops, Mike Golic Sr. in the booth and on the call. Notre Dame at Georgia Tech, going to be great to see that outfit there. But Matt, you and I were talking earlier today, Oklahoma State, the last remaining hope really for the Big 12, taking on this Texas team and winning with defense so far through the course of the season.
Top 5 teams in the country, all spread across the ESPN family of networks. Had the good fortune to talk to Mike Gundy today on SportsCenter. Gundy will tell you, and he was real honest about it. I said, Coach, this is something that you probably haven't been able to do in Stillwater for quite some time. Brag on your defense. And that really, they're allowing 12 points a game. That's best in the Big 12. You never see that out of Oklahoma State, much less the Big 12. Matt Berry, Mike Golic Jr., Larissa Harris on the call. Tied at 3 apiece. Sun Belt Thursdays. A tradition unlike most others. Kawan Baker deep to receive. Alex Rayner set to kick after time to ball game 3 apiece. Exactly what we're used to in the Fun Belt. Kicking it off. That's Dylan Lewis set to kick it off. Rayner hit the field goal. Lewis the kickoff specialist. This ball going to go deep into the end zone. And we'll have another look at Desmond Trotter in this South Alabama offense, who through the first quarter and a few, Golic Jr. balanced. 17 ball plays, 9 rushing, 8 throwing, but they've clearly found something in the passing game.
They have. I've been surprised by their ability to get yards in the rushing game up front with Carlos Davis, but they know they've got studs on the outside. Kawan Baker, we mentioned, going to be the chess piece, but Jalen Tolbert averaging just under 19 yards a catch, good for 23rd in the country this season. They can use them in a variety of different ways and give them 2-man route concepts, lead guys in to protect Desmond Trotter.
Trotter to fake, gonna look deep, and falls incomplete, intended for Tolbert. Almost made the circus catch, covered on the play by Kendrick Duncan.
And Kendrick Duncan was a
And
guy
Baker.
this coaching staff raved about, was on a bit of a pitch count coming back last week, but look at him coming over all the way from the middle of the field there. 6'3", 225, good-looking athlete, making a big-time breakup on the double moves we saw on the outside.
Baker also on the coverage. They love their secondary, so they're developing with each game. Trotter, quick throw right after the play fake, intended for Baker, falls incomplete.
See him working out the shoulder there. Ball dying a bit on both quarterbacks right now, trying to place it a little bit too much instead of cutting it loose. And we've seen 2 tight ends in now. This is a good time. You've got the field to your quarterback's throwing shoulder here. Move the pocket, get him on the move, and try and see if you can get someone coming from the backside.
And again, at some point, we do expect to see Chance Lovertich, the backup for South Alabama. Curious if Trotter stalls here. Pressured, brought down by the Georgia Southern defense. A.J. Watkins led the way, along with Justin Ellis in on the tackle.
Look at A.J. Watkins getting up and underneath there. Not sure where the eyes were for Braden Moody, the left tackle, number 79. But a pressure look, a great call with South Alabama backed up. And this is another team, South Alabama, their offensive line, not dynamic pass protectors up front. Those 3rd and long situations going to be a nightmare all night.
Loss of 10, 4th and 20. Brooks to punt, Kennedy to receive. Kennedy gets his ball players away from it. Ball bounces out. We'll see where they spot the ball, but Trotter run into a little speed bump here. We'll check out Shy Werts from the Eagles when we come back.
ESPN College Football is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Together tastes better.
Channeling his inner Dusty Rhodes, Chad Lansford, head coach. He loves to slam chairs with the opposing team's logo post-win. Larisha, how much fun is this?
It is a lot of fun. Like you said, these chairs right here, one of his new traditions that he started once he became the head coach here for the Eagles. He said it all started when he was trying to get, some of the students involved and hyped about the season. So he went to visit a frat house. They were already going crazy inside, and so he had to do something. He grabbed a chair, slammed it, reminding him of WWE days.
Bald head said he loves him. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Shy Words, pitching to J.D. King. That is a lower-the-shoulder statement at a King.
That plus chair slam equals Georgia Southern rolling right now.
I tell you what, brother.
You don't know nothing about no hard times. Desmond King. And we've seen this now, the role reversal a couple of times, getting him out on the perimeter as a pitch player.
Darrell Luter. He just got a Nat Sound pop on national TV because of King. All right, that's Wesley Kennedy. I thought Logan Wright. Jingmei got the business end of that lower shoulder as you see trainers taking a look at him on the sidelines.
Working it out a bit over there right now. Those collisions are tough on everyone involved. We saw it in the NFL. Derrick Henry in the hole against the Steelers. Everyone felt that hit this past weekend with the two formerly undefeated meeting now. Pittsburgh remaining in that column.
So Wright the first down on the last carry. Quick pitch out. Got a little tricky with it with Wright, but he was able to hang on. And that's where the option can get scary, if the pitch and the quarterback aren't on the same page.
Well, and you've got Logan Wright coming in cold now. We just talked about J.D. King, who has been out there working in that role. Logan Wright more in line of that fullback dive option that we're used to seeing in these spots. All of a sudden in a role that he's maybe not asked to do as much in this offense.
You see King, he's in pain. He's dropping that left shoulder after the business end of that hit. So it's going to be Wright for the time being in motion. The fake to Kennedy. Shy Wirtz stays in the pocket over the middle, and a great throw and catch. Number 48, Cam Brown on the reception.
And you watch the linebackers run with Wesley Kennedy, the middle of that field open up behind them, and then the quarterback delivers it just before the hit. How about Cam Brown stepping in for the injured Bo Johnson at that cruiser spot, stepping up big time with a catch to set them up down in the red zone.
And I like that throw by the quarterback. Put it up there where his guy can get it. Cam Brown did just that, so a first down after the gain of 25. Wirtz the pitch. Kennedy not much going, but they're starting to feel themselves now, and you see a little bit of attitude and momentum coming out of Georgia Southern.
And so for South Alabama, you've got to remember and stick to your keys down in this area of the field. All of those options, we talked about this. The triple option is creating conflict in a phone booth, not like all these air raid offenses we see doing it out in space. You have condensed the field down in the red zone with King back in the backfield.
You can't hold down J.D. King. So 2nd and 7. And how about that? Right up the gut. J.D. King, lower the shoulder, get in the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. Out after delivering a hit, comes back in, and we played big boy football for the first touchdown of the game, and J.D. King.
We see him go out on the outside, deliver a big hit, and we've seen him on those outside pitches a few times. Now the defense has to think a little bit more about, all right, with 15 in the backfield, I can't count on him getting the dive every time. I've got to prepare for more mentally.
Oh, give him the electric guitar.
Oh, he's ready to rock out. Traditions galore.
What's he going to do here?
No stairway.
I was going to say
denied.
What do we? Oh, we have extra point is good. You know, the electric guitar tradition is that the defense always gets some fun. The running backs wanted to get him some fun. So J.D. King, big boy football. You love to see it. Strum a guitar. Eagles up 10-3 midway through the second.
The studio coming up at the half. We'll set the table, break down the big matchup this weekend in State College, Pennsylvania. Ohio State and Penn State. Jesse Palmer is going to tell us what exactly has happened to the Mississippi State offense. Plus, Joey Galloway on whether or not we should expand a college football playoff. All coming up, Matt, when you join us at the half.
Kevin Connors, thank you. Hardest working team in the building. Chris Riviasso, Mike Diesenhoff, Stephen Oling. Kickoff by Kawan Baker, caught, tackled just shy of the 24-yard line. And I'll tell you this, Mike Golick Jr., there is no one happier about the speed of this first half than Jesse Palmer and Joey Galloway as we see a flag on the field.
And we see some of that pregame fire spilling over onto the field now as Georgia Southern is settled in offensively on their side, and their defense did a great job pinning South Alabama back, forcing the field position game win off the bad punt. Now that defense ready to go back to work.
See what they call here on the kick return by Baker. So the flag is actually going to be on Georgia Southern.
Offside, kicking team, number 37. That 5 yard to be added to the kick. First down.
Need to get his mic. New batteries at the half. The 1st and 10, 5-yard penalty puts the ball exactly the 30-yard line. Let's see how South Alabama can answer the Georgia Southern touchdown. Trotter still in at quarterback. Play fake, pull it. Ball to Kawan Baker. Make the first guy miss. And a big gain on first down. Move the chains.
Taking what's there underneath. We saw these D-backs come up, press, get beat deep, so now they're backed off. But this wide receiver group makes their living with the ball in their hands. Yards after the catch, huge for this offense.
Gain of 20, 18 yards. Yak, the give to Davis, able to make something out of nothing. Short gain of 1. Tempo out of the Jags. Tackle on the play by Raymond Johnson.
Kawan Baker on the season coming into this game had 443 yards receiving, 243 of those after the catch.
That is Yak. Trotter up top, looking for Baker, and great, well, he's gonna get flagged. Baker looked as if it was Baker on Baker, and he must have got that left arm in there. As a flag thrown on Darrell Baker covering Kawan Baker.
We talked about this last time. He's looking back and making a play on the ball. I'm guessing they saw the jersey grab early on in that. Might get him for holding.
Naked eye looked like great
Pass
coverage.
interference, defense, number 14. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Matt, I could maybe see holding with the grab that we saw there, but at the top of it, he's turned around, getting ready to make a play on that ball. So often that's the mistake we see defensive backs make in college. Their eyes planted in the wide receiver's chest gets them in trouble. That time he's looking back trying to bat this down.
So 4 penalties now for Georgia Southern, and the Jags all of a sudden momentum on this drive. 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Trotter quick throw. Caught immediately by Tolbert, forced out of bounds by Derek Canteen.
Canteen's a smooth athlete, just a redshirt freshman on the other side this coaching staff really liked, but you see them getting aggressive on some of these balls going towards the sideline now. Creeping up as you get down near the high red zone. could open it up for Jalen Tolbert to go deep off a double move like they tried to start the last drive.
Very balanced half out of South Alabama offensively. 11 runs to 12 throws, 23 ball plays, and it's Carlos Davis off the left tackle. Great patience by Davis and a big gain. 15-yarder for Carlos Davis.
Trent Tyre, the tight end, watch 47 at the bottom of the screen here, working out on the perimeter, getting Zion McGee in his grasp and springing the block, springing the big gain on them for that play.
I'm telling you, Kenny Edfield calling the ball game right now. Complete balance, complete control. Davis again off the right side, and now you're starting to see the run game work at a gain of 9 on first down. What a statement drive and an answer out of South Alabama.
And they've got some pace, trying to see if they can catch Georgia Southern before they line up.
And it worked. Davis, first down. They're going to have first and goal. Under 4 to play. Tackled by A.J. Watkins.
Now, Matt, while philosophically I am against it, this is an area where Desmond Trotter has great touch on jump balls.
Don't do it.
They love the goal line fade in this area. And Jalen Tolbert, down at the bottom of your screen here, going to be a prime target, number 8.
All right. I'll let you have it. Movement early. Could be a false start on the Jags.
Delay a game, defense, disconcerting signals.
That's a new one.
That is a new one. If I can loosely translate, I would imagine it's something akin to trying to simulate a snap count there, trying to see if you can get the offense to move in that instance, which we know is so many of these colleges, you see the quarterbacks going on that clap, using that as a key, which again, with no crowd, is a lot easier for this offense.
All right, so first and goal. And Terrion Avery met immediately by a host of Eagles defenders led by big number 94, C.J. Wright.
Great job here working off the backside, and you see Georgia Southern packed in tight here. That jet motion going to be in play at some point in this offense. They know they get 3 tight ends on the field again. Again, keep an eye on Tolbert up top.
Now the man in motion, fake to Tolbert. Pressure, Trotter avoids it, looks to the end zone. Caught, touchdown. Brandon Crum. And a great job by Trotter to keep the play alive. And the Jags march right back down the field. And we're an extra point away from this game being tied.
And you're going to see guy catching the touchdown, get away with a little push off. Watch 20 at the top here. Just give that little shove to Randy Wade, number 47. And you see him calling for it right there. He's not used to coverage in space, and that time gets got.
8 plays, 70 yards, Diego Guajardo. And the extra point is good. Speaking of good, now it's getting fun. It's the Sun Belt. It's Thursday, and it's tied at 10 apiece. Tied at 10 apiece after the Brandon Crum touchdown and a great drive by South Alabama. 2:50 left in the second quarter is when I'll take you. We'll show the drive here in a second. Wesley Kennedy deep to receive the Guajardo kick. So Kennedy going to have some fun here. Takes it to the right just across the 25-yard line. Now we'll take you from Plan to Play, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
Offensive coordinator Bob DeBessie told us you need 4 things to make this offense go. Make them defend the entire field. Get Wesley Kennedy involved early. Establish the dive. Wesley Kennedy again involved in that in this triple option offense. Play action passing to keep him honest. Cam Brown, number 48 in the middle of the field. And then interior offensive line push. Look at 66 and 72. Logan Langmeyer, Caleb Kelly clearing the way for big J.D. King. All four of those elements on display early in this first half for Georgia Southern.
We saw the last couple of possessions, Georgia Southern get that rhythm we're accustomed to seeing. So now it's Shai Werts, the pitch to Kennedy off the right side, and good pursuit by the Jags defense. Tackled on the play by number 33, Keith Gallman.
And for that Jags defense, in addition to being assignment sound, Greg Stewart talking to us, he said, guys, what are you doing? I'm in this meeting. I'm trying to get ready to defend the triple option. Said, you want to know a secret defending this? Work from the outside in, because you don't want those angles coming from inside out going at Shai Werts at quarterback. He's too quick for your linebackers and safety to make a living coming from the middle on.
Had our call scheduled with Coach Stewart. Love talking ball with him. He just raises his hand. He's like, guys, I'm trying to plan for the triple option. Then he laughed it off, had some fun with his timeouts.
South Alabama.
By South Alabama.
I'm out.
This week on NFL Countdown, Tom Brady and Randy Moss are going to go one-on-one, former teammates. But before Tua makes his NFL debut, sitting down with some of the game's greatest left-handed quarterbacks. By my math, that's Steve Young. I know old Timmy Tebow was on Outside the Lines on SportsCenter this week talking about it. Then Monday night, Tommy. And the Bucs taking on the Giants Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Monday Night Countdown, 6 p.m. Eastern, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app.
I know we all get fired up seeing Tom and Rob Gronkowski linking up again. Gronk calling himself maple syrup in an analogy that didn't make a ton of sense. But Todd Bowles and that defense looked like maybe the fiercest in the NFL through the first half of the season.
You know what? With what he's done, Brady early on, no offseason to get this team 5-2. They look every bit of a threat in the NFC, along with Seattle and some of those other teams out west. Werts, the keeper. That's how you run the option. Shai Werts has space. Knocked out of bounds. Chased out of bounds again by Gallman. 36 yards for Werts.
Watch Nick Mobley, number 46, the linebacker, gets tripped up. Supposed to be having the quarterback again, coming from inside out, gets dangerous, gets tripped up by his own player. Werts is off and running in this 2-minute drill.
Credit Malik Murray, the receiver. Nice block to spring Werts outside. And whatever was kind of holding Georgia Southern back early to start the game, that is gone. Because now we've seen the option work here the past couple of possessions. Bad snap. Werts able to corral it. Smart move just to fall on it. A.J. DeShazer there in the backfield.
Airmail right here. Almost looked like he was snapping it under center, Logan Langmeyer. And now the one thing as a center, Matt, and I spent a lot of time in that spot during college, you never want to be thinking about the snap. You spend so much time on that to make it a second nature part of your game. Now if you've got to think about it, keep an eye on that exchange as we go forward here.
So now under a minute and a half, 2nd and 20. And that's a give right up the middle to Wesley Kennedy. Georgia Southern has all 3 timeouts. Tackle on the play by Christian Bell.
I'm not sure why, if you're South Alabama, you're not maybe thinking about using one of those timeouts in this spot, especially before you let a lot of time go off the clock in that situation.
And there you hear a whistle. We'll see who ended up using one here. Yeah, because 3rd and 18 and a team that's not really noted for throwing.
They're first of the half.
Georgia Southern's going to burn.
Timeout.
What of their timeouts? Still 2 remaining.
You were up above a minute there. They were probably going to put it in the air on that one. It would have been a long field and a chance to go, but still operating a 2-minute drill with 1 timeout in the length of the field. Maybe give yourself a chance.
Tied at 10, balanced first half out of both teams. A packed Saturday slate with some good college football. We are aware of a developing story in Clemson. You got Georgia, Kentucky, Memphis, Cincinnati. big one at night. Oh, happy birthday, by the way, to Nick Saban on Saturday, Halloween.
It's a nice one for him.
Turned 69. And then Notre Dame and Georgia Tech, top 5 teams all across the family of networks.
A lot of questions for these teams early in the Big Ten slate, trying to get a read on all these teams as Georgia Southern sets up for a third and very long right here.
Kennedy in motion, works. Has room to the right, calls for a block, doesn't get it, chased out of bounds. Forced out of bounds on the play by Riley Cole.
We saw the leg on the other side in the kicking game for South Alabama.
46 seconds remaining. 4th and 12. I like this.
Well, you understand you're in no man's land right here. You could even potentially get, I'm not sure if he's got it in his game, but we've seen pooch punts here by the quarterback. He's backing up right now. He's going to punt this
he's
thing.
got it in this game. Come on, Mike Golick. Look at this. Like a 54-degree wedge. Spun out off the green.
Needed it to check up a little bit. Got to spend more time at the Pat McAfee punter camp.
Thought he was going to have a birdie putt there. Back of the end zone. Touchback. Shai Werts. We now know he can punt the ball.
He can, and you understand that you're in that middle ground where even if you had gone for it there, would have essentially been an arm punt. And now, based on South Alabama's decision to not call that timeout earlier, you'd imagine they're probably going to kneel this down, take it into the half.
Have to be thrilled with what they did in the first half, especially answering back that drive. Both teams at exactly 28 ball plays, both tied at 10 apiece. We'll see what Steve Campbell elects to do here at the end of the half. 39 seconds remaining. And at least for now, 1st and 10 at the 20. Looks as if they're going to line up, call a ball play. And the give to Davis off the right side. Carlos Davis. Gain of 8. Not using the timeout. Jags appear content. Fake from Trotter right over the middle, and a first down on the play. Tyer on the catch. Let's let Guajardo kick a 70-yarder.
30-second timeout.
A bit confused by the end-of-half strategy here. Again, if you're going to go out here and operate your offense, not using those timeouts earlier, trying to give yourself a more manageable look at this, now seems like a misfire by Steve Campbell and this coaching staff.
Maybe first couple of plays, thought we'll just get out of here at the half, get a couple of yards, and say, well, we got 5 seconds, let's see if we can dial one up. But I'm with you, not the best end-of-half management out of the Jags. Storylines coming up at the half. Looking forward to hearing from Kevin Connors, Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway as they stand by for some huge news in college football. Ball at the 35. And that'll be it. It'll be Carlos Davis off the right side. And that'll do it for the first half. Pretty even ball game. Seen some good offense, seen some good defense. What we know now, 10-10 at the half is tempers flare. All tied. Let's go to Kevin Connors, Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway with the halftime reports. Welcome back to Thursday Night Football. A little Sun Belt action. We're tied up. South Alabama, Georgia Southern. South Alabama has never beaten Georgia Southern. 7th meeting in this series. 6-0 is Georgia Southern over South Alabama. Mike Golick Jr., Matt Berry alongside. Seismic news. Breaking news in college football. Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence has tested positive for COVID-19. Dabo Swinney said tonight that he is in isolation. He will not be available for the game this weekend against Boston College. And Mike Golick Jr. for the #1 overall pick, the Heisman favorite, the #1 team in the country. This is monstrous.
It is, and certainly first and foremost, Dabo said he's experiencing only mild symptoms right now, so you hope his health and safety are the first priority here. But no doubt, seismic news, this is the consensus best player in college football, bar none, and what he does elevating this Clemson offense can't be replicated. So maybe for Boston College this weekend, something that maybe competition-wise they're not as worried about, although both backup quarterbacks, whether it's DJ Uiagalelei, the star freshman, both dealing with injury issues, nicks along the way. Going to be interesting to see their status going into this
The
one.
ACC protocol, 10 days. We see different protocols throughout the country. We know the Big Ten's 21 days. They're dealing with that with Graham Mertz, but Trevor Lawrence now 10 days, which now if you go ahead and move ahead in the schedule, they're set to face Notre Dame on November 7th. This is a monster game in the ACC. So now you wonder protocol if Trevor's going to be available. Forget this week against Boston College because you know that's not happening. But when you look ahead for Clemson and what they've got ahead of them on the schedule, the next one is Notre Dame. And so all kinds of implications now with this news tonight.
It certainly is. And again, it's so strange to talk about competition in the middle of all this, but that's what ends up happening. And for Clemson, it's a reminder that that game at Notre Dame is certainly the one that's going to be on people's minds for a lot of this. But one loss does not knock Clemson out of this college football playoff picture. We know they're more than likely going to be a team people see in the ACC championship game later on, but certainly, no doubt, just jarring news on a human level for this team to look up at your leader, the face of your program, the guy who's been the voice of you all offseason in a number of different instances on and off the field. Now this team hit with that kind of adversity.
So that's off the field for Clemson. Back on the field here, 10-10. Georgia Southern will get the ball first. The kick goes into the end zone, touchback, and early on we saw a little bit of everything out of that Georgia Southern triple option in the first half.
Three elements, the dive first, and we saw them establish this with Wesley Kennedy, the guy they're used to on the pitch, and you see those linebackers, defensive ends outside. So the next one, the pitch off of that. When the linebacker declares, takes the quarterback out of the play, like he does here, quarterback stresses him and gets that ball out at the last second. And finally, we see here the keep. You've got him matched up on Nick Mobley here. He sees the defender staying outside with the pitch, and he knows I can outrun a linebacker trying to chase me from the inside. Everything on display for Georgia Southern.
You and I had our conversation during our nice glass of water at halftime about how each of these teams, as we finally catch up there with J.D. King, that each of these teams had a couple of drives where we think that we saw the best of this offense.
Both offenses hampered by penalties early on, getting in bad down and distance situations, which for a triple option team is the absolute nightmare scenario. And so now they can get these 4- and 5-yard chunks on the early downs, keep it on rushing distances for third down here as we see them line up in what's usually a passing formation for them, a normal spread look.
So now 2nd and 5, ball at the 30. Again, they give to King. He's met immediately, tackled on the play by Janarius Johnson.
And I know that's not a big game, and now you're in 3rd and 6, but that's an important tendency breaker. All in the first half, anytime they lined up like that, that ball was coming out. It was a play-action pass look, an RPO. Now the defense has to account for the handoff in that as well, as you've got 3rd and 6 here. And we've seen Shai Werts use his feet a lot on these, maybe try and get him out on the edge where he's got a two-way go at this in the pass-to-run option.
So can the Eagles convert first possession, second half? Emil Smith in motion. Werts forced out of the pocket, throws across his body. He's going to fall incomplete. That was intended for Smith. And so much like we saw to start the game, the Jags defense does a nice job getting Georgia Southern off the field. They'll punt. It'll be Anthony Beck to punt, Colin Lacey deep. Took a while in the first half to get a little bit of offensive rhythm for both of these teams. We saw them each in their penultimate drive before the half punch in a touchdown. And Beck's punt caught by Lacey. He's going to get a block to the outside and go nowhere. Let's go down to Larisha Harris.
Well, I had the opportunity to catch up with both head coaches, but first speaking with Coach Steve Campbell, he told me, you know, one of the biggest issues defending the triple offense was them not being able to be consistent. He said they must make turnovers and they have to limit those big loose plays that they've had so far in the first half. Now, when I spoke with Georgia Southern head coach Chad Lunsford, he was really frustrated with the chippiness that he saw from his players.
Was a little bit of chip, and we saw it there as Carlos Davis, the ball carrier, tackled on the play for a loss by Anthony Wilson. We saw it there when we tossed to Kevin Connors at the half to give the Trevor Lawrence news. There were some extracurricular activities on the field before both teams went to the tunnel. We saw that pregame, we saw it at half. A lot of chippiness in this game.
And for Chad Lunsford, who said the biggest disappointment for their team was not executing and being detail-oriented, when your head's focused on those things, you take your eye off the prize as far as your execution.
So no gain on the play. Trotter play fake to Davis, forced out of the pocket. And that's going to be, see if a flag comes out for a late hit. And it doesn't. Now you see the officials running over. And these two teams have been going at it all night. That's going to be a loss of 3.
Raymond Johnson on this play, the big guy, number 0. And you see that push, he's still in bounds. I understand they're flirting with it on the sideline, but if you're a quarterback, and this is one, Desmond Trotter, we have to remember, redshirt sophomore, a guy still getting used to playing a lot of football at this level, you got to get down and take that hit off yourself.
Are you surprised they didn't call it, though?
I am a bit, yes, because this is college football in 2020, but seeing that review, he was in bounds.
He was in bounds as a proper no call, but we typically see that flagged as Trotter is going to take a timeout.
Timeout, South Alabama. Their first of the half.
So I had mentioned you'd seen off camera after the Trotter hit that there was some jawing going on. And again, we've seen this from the get-go. This was pre-game when the storm was still going through. And then you see it in-game after some special teams going back and forth. This last one was Raynard Ellis after the hit. It's just good old-fashioned Sun Belt. You come at me, I'm coming at you.
And this is the end of the first half where you see it boil over in both of these spots. And one thing, if you're a coach, and you saw a little bit from Wesley Kennedy right there, you got to be careful about throwing hands up there. Because if it looks like you swing and throw a punch, all of a sudden, you're out of the game. You're down one of your best players because you feel like acting tough and throwing a punch with helmets on.
That's a really good point, because at least until now, it's basically amounted to some jawing on the field, getting in each other's face, tempers flaring. Hasn't gotten out of control.
And with Wesley Kennedy, you're on the edge in instances like that. These aren't blows being thrown inside the scrum, inside a pile. Referee's got a great look at you. You're too important to your team to put yourself in that spot.
But as the game winds on, 3rd and 13, slip screen to the left side goes nowhere. Tolbert, the receiver, and a great job out of the Georgia Southern defense with a swarm and punish tackle there. Rashad Bird leading the way. 2nd consecutive punt here to start the second half.
Georgia Southern defense doing a great job. You send 4 with a linebacker, but you're still playing zone behind it. And as South Alabama's gone after these screens, you got every defender, eyes on the quarterback, seeing that come up and make an easy play.
I tell you what, I love it. We're tied. Big game for both teams. Tempers getting a little hot, and as this game winds on, you wait to see how this is going to affect it, as Wesley Kennedy is going to call a fair catch there at the 30. So a couple of punts to start the third quarter. We'll see Shai Werts and the Eagles right after this.
Scary good matchup on Halloween night as the Buckeyes creep into Happy Valley under a full moon. Get ready for chills on Saturday Night Football.
I'm in. Trick or treat.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Look at our cameraman Sam getting in on the action pretty early on. That is terrifying.
Now, how does Sam know what he's shooting if he's got a mask on?
I don't ask those kind of questions to a guy wearing that mask, Matt.
Back. First down. Shai Werts. Play fake over the... Oh, that is just thrown right to South Alabama, but the ball pops out. Did they get away with the Keith Gallman interception? And in fact, they did. There was so much oh no on that play.
Unbelievable. Shai Werts and company getting Dwayne Betts to drop down in the hole as a safety. He recovers. Werts has a man open in that hole in the background, doesn't put enough air on it, but a great job staying with it.
Darian Anderson gets a game ball for forcing that fumble to get the ball back. So, you know what? First down, Georgia Southern. Shai Werts back to what he knows, the option, keeps it hit. That's a good play there on first down.
And you see him go in with the strip. That's something we see coached on the defensive side of the ball plenty. But for Darian Anderson to have the wherewithal to go for it in that spot on a defender who's not used to carrying the football like that, that's a heads-up play.
Tell you what, that's a helmet sticker scenario in the postgame if they get this win, to be able to stay alert on the ball, force the fumble, get it to your team back, gain of 5. 2nd and 5 now for Southern.
Starting to mix in some of that speed option now. No dive, but just getting your quarterback on the edge, option 1 man instead of 2.
That's going to be a timeout as Georgia Southern looked a little bit out of sorts.
Timeout. Georgia Southern. They're first of the half. Timeout on the field.
So take a look now during the timeout of the top 5 teams in college football. And again, if you just pop it over to say hi, the breaking news, Trevor Lawrence tested positive for COVID-19. He is out this week against Boston College. Released a statement just moments ago via social media. Top 5 teams on the ESPN family of networks. Alabama, they've got Mississippi State, Ohio State, Penn State, the big one on ABC. But Lawrence released a statement moments ago. I've tested positive for COVID-19. Symptoms have been relatively mild. And while I'm following the protocol from Clemson and the ACC, only thing that hurts is missing an opportunity to be with my teammates this weekend and play the game that I love. So certainly that's going to shake up college football with them now having to go to the true freshman. Clemson, a highly touted true freshman at that, but still not Trevor Lawrence.
We all saw the hit stick play against Miami, but doing that consistently, David Hale does a great job reporting for us. Says Uiagalelei and their other backup have both been battling injuries as well. We'll see if either of them are 100%.
Now, you know who's doing a great job? You pronouncing Uiagalelei.
Got to show off that Notre Dame degree sometimes, Matt, as they're showing off the edge of this option here. 3rd and a manageable 4. And we just saw, will they have the confidence to let Shai Werts air this out potentially again after that last interception? You have to imagine it's going to be, and we've seen out of this backfield, some version of quarterback sweep. They're getting to some of the other wrinkles of this offense.
And we had talked about it first half. Go with what you know. They've tried to have a couple of possessions where they'd let Shai throw, but when they get into the meat of this triple option, they're going to get you to 3-4 yards at a time. And like you said, bring it up a manageable 3rd and 4. And that's the give to Kennedy right up the middle. He's not going to have anything. There's a gain of 2. Bring it up 4th down. Tackled on the play by Quentin Wilfork.
It's a great job by Janarius Johnson. Jeremiah Little's this defensive line on the interior for South Alabama of holding solid against the triple option. You've got to be able to win with your down defensive lineman, especially against how potent the dive can be when that starts to hit.
Anthony back to punt. Lacey deep. Lacey get a fair catch that at the 19-yard line. So this starting similar to the first quarter. Some punts, no offense, still tied at 10 midway through the 3rd.
Something to believe.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Matt Berry, Mike Golick Jr., Larisha Harris on the call. 10-10 here, 3rd quarter, South Alabama, Georgia Southern. And tonight, Desmond Trotter, 12 of 15, 79 yards and a touchdown. He's had a couple of runs. He's been good at keeping the offense moving when they need it.
He's made key plays like this, not being afraid to cut it loose in the run game. Being mobile, making defenders miss on the outside of the pocket on the touchdown pass here. And remember, this is an offense where we've seen Chance Lovertich, their backup quarterback, come in at times. They're letting Desmond Trotter run the show. They feel like he's made big plays for them in the last few weeks.
95 total yards and a touchdown. Numbers aren't going to jump off the screen, but he hasn't made any mistakes. And the game's at 10. That's Trotter. Hit as he throws. Looking deep to Tolbert. Flag on the play. And we've seen them routinely tonight go at Darrell Baker. And Baker is going to get hit here.
And you see it's that grab there at the end that seems to be getting him. Boy, they're calling it close on the outside right now, both players.
You know, we've seen it a couple of times where we thought we had the defensive PI, they flagged it on offense, but they've clearly found something in Baker that they feel they can exploit, and they've gone at him a couple of times. So a 15-yard penalty and a first down for South Alabama.
And you saw Trotter have to stand in and take the hits. That's why you're seeing multiple tight ends on the field like right now. They're going to slide protection, keep 7 in, and try and give their quarterback a chance upright.
Carlos Davis, a nice first half, averaging about 5 yards a carry, is going to take it up the middle for a gain of 2.
And looked like a missed false start on that last play. One of their tight ends got caught rocking forward. We've all been there. It's not a great spot, but now you set up 2nd and 8 here. And Davis has been getting good work in on the ground. This group up front, led by Brian Ankerson at center, the 5th-year senior, has been creating movement on the interior for South Alabama.
Coaching staff said they want to see Terrion Avery get the ball more, but it's still going to be Davis. He's corralled in the backfield, led on that play by Justin Ellis, and then his mates come in and clean up for a loss on the play. Loss of 7.
You're going to watch the right tackle, pass 44 off to no one. He thinks he's working in combination with the right guard, and he lets him go past. No one on the double team. Always taught as an offensive lineman, Matt, take care of the first level first before you start running off the linebackers. You make life easy on Justin Ellis there.
Ben Tosway was able to get in there on the tackle as well. Now 3rd and 15.
And we've seen them go screen all night on this to the wide receiver. Georgia Southern going to sit back in zone, wait for it.
So Trotter over the middle, quick catch on the play by Kawan Baker. Not going to be enough for the first down. Going to force another South Alabama punt.
Back and forth right now. Both of these offenses struggling on early downs. And for South Alabama, in a game this close, possessions are going to be so key. You've left 2 turnovers out there. Getting the ball out on Shy earlier in the game, and then the interception where you were stripped by Georgia Southern. Those are going to be moments you look back on, and Steve Campbell incredibly frustrated with.
Jack Brooks to punt. I'll tell you what, you could use a big play here at a Wesley Kennedy to ignite it. He's going to fair catch it at the 16-yard line. So the offense is a little bit stalled right now, still tied at 10 in the 3rd. 10 third quarter, Matt Berry, Mike Golick Jr., Larisha Harris, and Freedom, the bald eagle mascot. Watch this. Watch Freedom give a tell you what. You see the talons on that thing?
He saw that pregame scuffle, and he wants in.
That's a brave man. Now that Freedom I could go at. Like, he wouldn't win.
You don't think so? You think you could take that mascot, Matt?
That mascot, yeah. Freedom, the real one? No. Besides, you never know what birds are thinking. 1st and 10. Wirtz, the keeper. Pitch outside Wesley Kennedy. Good open field tackle by 33 Keith Gallman.
That's a dynamic athlete in space that you just brought down there. Wesley Kennedy led the team coming into this game. 7 plays of 20-plus yards on the season. 2 rushing, 2 receiving, 3 on special teams. This guy is as dynamic as it gets. Limiting like that in the open field is incredible.
You get the sense both offenses kind of stuck in the mud, a little rut. Someone's due for a big play, a trick play, something to ignite each unit here in the second half. And they're going to go right up the middle with J.D. King. And we're at the point now where South Alabama is keying on the run. and doing well. That tackle by Quentin Wilfon, bringing up a 3rd and 8. They are not intimidated or even thinking about the Eagles beating them with a pass.
No, and Wilfon out there normally in the spot where you'd see Nick Mobley, number 46, who had some issues athletically staying with their quarterback, maybe getting a bit more speed on the field for this defense.
So 3rd and 8. 2 punts already for Georgia Southern in the second half. Wirtz to throw, plenty of time, no one open. Gonna try to do it himself, and it's not gonna work. Wilfon, Gallman, and that Jags defense doing a great job spying Shai Wirtz. And again, a punt for Georgia Southern.
And you look, the lights are on, but nobody's home. Everything covered downfield, nowhere to go. And we've seen Shai Wirtz already having some issues cutting it through in good windows. And then all these defenders sitting right at the sticks, ready to come up when he's there. Everyone's got eyes trained on one in this defense from the outside in. Just like Greg Stewart, their defensive coordinator, said they wanted to attack this team.
So another punt. Colin Lacey gonna back off of it. Nearly hits South Alabama players, going to rest just shy of the 50-yard line. Let's check into the studio with Kevin Connors.
And again, Matt, you guys have been talking about it throughout. The huge news from college football. Clemson confirming tonight Trevor Lawrence has tested positive for COVID-19. He is currently in isolation, will miss Saturday's game against Boston College. Lawrence issuing a statement saying he is experiencing only mild symptoms and feeling okay. DJ Uiagalelei is number 2 on the depth chart. Tyson Pumachan, Hunter Helms have thrown passes this season as well. The Tigers are 6-0, the number 1 team in college football. But Matt, no Trevor Lawrence Saturday against BC.
Kevin Connors, thank you. Without question, the best player in college football right now, out. So Kawan Baker on the reverse. A gain of 2. South Alabama was trying something on the trick play, but nothing there. Number 14, Darrell Baker on the tackle. But here's a look at Clemson's upcoming schedule. We know for certain no Trevor Lawrence against Boston College. The game to watch November 7th at Notre Dame with that 10-day window with the ACC.
And now, Matt, this is when the semantics of when did the positive test exactly come back as they start the clock on that 10 days. Was it today on Thursday? Was it Wednesday? And how do they gauge that for a player that I'm sure if he's healthy and good to go, they're going to try in every way possible to see if they can get that calendar to South Bend.
So Wednesday would make it the 10. Thursday makes it the 9 as Baker injured on the field for Georgia Southern. We've called his name quite a bit this evening. He's had the assignment of Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Wayne, he's paid some attention to, but looks as if Baker Jr. is going to be able to get up on his own, which is a good sign. Also a flag on the play.
Going to be interested to see how that flag sorts out, Matt, because this is the kind of field position off special teams that put South Alabama in good position last time. Getting a drive with a bit of a short field. Both offenses have struggled when they've been backed up in their own again. To get plays going, to just start the drive, to get that first down.
To break the seal a little bit. Try to get something going. Open up the playbook. Here's the penalty. It's a legal block, is what the call was.
On South Alabama, so it looks like it's going to back them up in a little bit, which is good news. They were out near midfield. Good news if you're Georgia Southern.
Picking up your point with the Jags. They have the ability to go deep with the Jalen Tolberts and the Kawan Bakers, some of those big play abilities that perhaps Georgia Southern can't take advantage of. So we'll see what Trotter does here. 1st and 24, steps up into the pocket, and a nice throw over the middle, and a nice move by Brandon Crum, the tight end, and there's that big play you're talking about. Brandon Crum, who caught the touchdown, now a big play after a penalty. 1st and 24 and a gain of 36.
And now they're getting ready to get up and go. They want to see if they can get this Georgia Southern defense on its heels, and you get to move fast when you've got those versatile tight ends on the field.
As you stated, here comes the tempo, looking for Baker. And yeah, there's going to be a flag there. An easy call as Baker was held.
And this is actually a really solid play by Zion McGee, grabbing on the outside because he knows. We'll see on the replay what's happening.
Holding, defense, number 20, against an eligible receiver. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You've got him holding right here because you won't see behind him, but Rashad Byrd is sprinting out. He was going to have to cover Baker trying to go up the sideline. You see him lunging for the ball there. Excuse me, that's Raynard Ellis. But he knew a linebacker coming out that way. I'd rather live to see another down than give up a huge home run play.
High snap, corralled by Trotter. Carlos Davis able to pick up 5 yards on the play. But for all intents and purposes, they've done a great job on Kawan Baker. 4 receptions, 41 yards. This player's coming off a career high, 154 yards and 3 touchdowns a week ago. They've been able to bottle up the weapons of South Alabama.
And so it's left Jalen Tolbert on the other side to draw some of those pass interference penalties. This staff knows one of these receivers is always going to get doubled.
Deep drive for the Jags, now 2nd and 5. Trotter checking the play at the line. And it's going to be Carlos Davis off the left side. Davis going to pick up the first down, so goal to go now for South Alabama. Tackled on the play by McGee.
You're seeing a lot of respect on the backside for Desmond Trotter's running ability. We talk so much about Shai Werts, but Desmond Trotter on these read option plays, holding the backside D end and the linebacker, is giving Carlos Davis all this room to run.
Worth pointing out as the clock ticks down here in the 3rd, South Alabama has never beaten Georgia Southern as Davis met immediately on the play, tackled by Wilson, who's having a big night.
Great penetration upfield. Again, make the running back move his feet. The defensive line and the linebackers getting those wins for you so that guys like Anthony Wilson can come in and clean up after the fact.
You almost had me sold, by the way, on perhaps taking a shot at the fade to Jalen Tolbert. Over the middle. Thrown. Caught. Touchdown, Jalen Tolbert. And a good play action out of the Jaguars, and they take the lead. 12-yard touchdown for Jalen Tolbert.
2 looks at it here. 1, great job driving it in by the quarterback low. Let's make sure he hangs on to it here. See the hands underneath. That ball doesn't move. Remember, the ball can hit the ground. You've just got to have control of it on the way.
Great effort.
And he seems to have it pressed into his stomach right there. Not seeing a lot of movement on that end if they end up taking a look at this.
So a 6-play, 52-yard drive, 2 minutes, 28 seconds off the clock. What a great response by Trotter in this Jags offense.
We talked about drive starters. Backed up after a big penalty, hit your tight end on a big play action shot downfield and keep it moving.
And Diego Guajardo on for the extra point. It is good. So now 17-10, South Alabama.
Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack. Delicious nachos topped with all your favorites. Only at Taco Bell.
First real road trip for the Jaguars. First place in the Sun Belt West, 2-0. Never beaten Georgia Southern. Desmond Trotter just surpassed 2,000 yards of total offense on that drive. And just from talking to the coaching staff this week, I thought it was telling that they kept bringing up that 2-0 conference record that wasn't getting much respect because of who they played. They got the win against Texas State. They got the win against Louisiana Monroe. And now for the 3rd consecutive game after kind of having a staggered start to the season, they feel good about where they are.
They do. This is a team that, when we talked to Steve Campbell, said the biggest difference is just being able to have everyone back and healthy. They couldn't practice the way they needed to. They had their own issues with COVID-19 during the season where they had to pause. And so now having everyone back out on the field, good on good, paying off.
Let's see if good on good gets Wesley Kennedy a return here. It does not. Goes out of the back of the end zone. And so I'll be interested to see here Shai Werts and Georgia Southern. Probably twice we've seen this offense in rhythm, and they wanted to make that a huge point this week after what they had and called a come to Jesus meeting on Sunday after the Coastal Carolina game because they didn't feel good about their execution.
Speed at linebacker is helping them take care of the quarterback. The guys inside are forcing the ball outside in that triple option, crashing down to take away that dive that hurt them so much, and their linebackers have finally been able to keep up. Quentin Wilfon, number 10, a big reason why.
Werts a double pump fake, has a man beat, and a big play for Shai Werts. Double pump and Malik Murray behind the defense. Golick Jr., another drive starter.
A big play for it and a double move for Murray right here. Stems him inside, plants it upfield, and Shai Werts finally cutting one loose. We've seen him trying to place balls, underthrowing them, having them die in the short area of the field. That time he knew he had a man open and he cut it loose.
No hesitation with that throw, so a big play, gain of 38. Now in South Alabama territory. Saw this in the first half. One team scores a touchdown, the other responds. Wesley Kennedy off tackle. Does a good job picking up 3. I spot him for 2.
And again, unsure if there's any other reason, but number 46, Nick Mobley, who's a redshirt junior, a guy this coaching staff loves, we have not seen on the field much for the last quarter of this game. Number 10, Quentin Wilfon. Riley Cole, number 4, an incredible athlete, an outside linebacker, moved inside for them, really coming into his own, leads the team in tackles for loss.
So under 30 seconds, 2nd and 8, Kennedy in motion. The pitch to J.D. King, who's had a big night. Logan Wright, the ball carrier.
And Matt, this is one of those wrinkles, a different way to use Wesley Kennedy. He's coming from the opposite side of the field. You've got that backfield that looks like triple option, but instead you create a lead blocker.
That's the end of the third quarter.
And that'll do it for the end of the third quarter. We've got a good one developing. South Alabama just off the touchdown. Georgia Southern tries to drive, and we'll see the start of the fourth quarter after this. South Alabama not going to stop believing they can beat Georgia Southern 17-10. It's been few and far between, Mike Golick Jr., but we have seen some big throws out of the quarterback.
A game that we came in talking about the triple option rushing attack defined by some big throws. Trotter getting it downfield to Brandon Crum, finding Tolbert in the end zone. But Shai Werts getting in on the action. This is the first real pass where we watched him cut it loose, getting a big play to Malik Murray. Now they can get into the meat and potatoes of their offense.
And that was a steak and potatoes run by J.D. King. That kid is physical.
Physical and loved by this team. This coaching staff lauded him. Said the minute he stepped on campus, the Oklahoma State transfer, fed everyone's energy around him, lifted up this whole team. As we see Trotter airing it out much more. Shai Werts, they've been fewer and further between. We know this offense wants to live in that triple option, but their offensive coordinator told us play action pass has to be one of the ways we keep a defense honest.
Trotter's numbers effective, 15 of 18, 135 and 2 touchdowns. Werts going to keep it, and that's a good execution on the option look. Defense chose pitch man. Shai Werts chose to keep it, and a gain of 7.
And Shai does a great job with the little notes right here. Leaning outside, gives him that foot, that jab to turn that defender away who's covering down on the pitch, making Riley Cole, number 4, work for it coming from the inside, taking that direct angle towards the first down marker.
This identical again to what we saw in the first half.
And this has been a passing formation traditionally for them. Let's see if it holds true with Malik Murray in the slot.
They're going to go J.D. King. Tries to spin out of a tackle, but a good job by Riley Cole and company. So a loss of 1, 3rd and 4.
A.J. DeShazier doing a great job on the backside of that defense. And we talked about it before, having tendency breakers in this offense, going for the rush there. But now on third down, you got to put it in your quarterback's hands. We saw him getting involved in the run game there. This is another opportunity where you can use these running backs to be blockers out in front of your quarterback, get him on the edge.
There's the fake to King. Wesley Kennedy has space and a touchdown, Georgia Southern. For the second time this game, one team scores, the other answers. This time is Georgia Southern. Wesley Kennedy, 14 yards, an extra point away from a tie game.
Wesley Kennedy with a big-time response. We talked about his playmaking ability. Plays of over 20 yards are his specialty, and he goes untouched there. We're going to see some great blocking on this play. Work on the outside by these tight ends and wide receivers.
So Rayner on for the extra point, right down the middle. And you saw Shai Werts and company get that electric guitar out. The fake to J.D. King. The pitch to Wesley Kennedy, and we are tied again, 17-all. Back tied 17-all after the Wesley Kennedy touchdown. Coach has said this week we are going to get him the ball and move him around. And because of it, after the 14-yard touchdown, we are tied at 17 apiece. So Kawan Baker deep to receive, Dylan Lewis to kick. Baker's going to fair catch it. Ball at the 25-yard line. Golick, walk us through that play.
Yeah, you're going to watch on the outside, Emil Smith, the wide receiver, number 85, right here. Cam Brown, the tight end, influencing these two defenders, passing off the corner at the line of scrimmage as he comes out here so the wide receiver can get up to the safety. You're going to watch the two of them after the snap here. 85 is pointing to the cornerback as he comes down. He knows that Cam Brown's going to take him, so now he can work up to the safety and get just enough of him to get Wesley Kennedy an easy walk into the end zone.
Perfect execution on the perfect ball play to tie it up. South Alabama 2-0 in conference. First place in the West. Georgia Southern 1-2 in conference. Never lost to South Alabama. We're dialed up for a good one here with under 13 to play. See what Desmond Trotter, how they respond. Ball at the 3, and it's Carlos Davis up the middle for a gain of 9.
Brian Ankerson, number 66, their fifth-year senior, and these interior offensive linemen do a great job of sorting out movement and creating a big lane.
Tempo again, Davis again, and he's still on his feet. Good effort, first down, South Alabama, brought down on the play by Kendrick Duncan.
With this pace, Desmond Trotter is going to be able to keep one of these eventually. As that defense starts keying in on Carlos Davis, the quarterback run is going to be an option for them.
Trotter sacked. And it's Justin Ellis getting the pressure and a big stop.
Does a great job of getting his hit past the left tackle. You see Wyatt Green, number 75, in that game and just athletically was not able to keep up with Justin Ellis, who's made some big plays on this defense along the front.
So loss is 6. That's how you stop pace. 2nd and 16. Trotter again to throw. Again pressured. He's going to throw that away. So here comes this Georgia Southern defense after getting the touchdown a moment ago, pinning their ears back. And a real opportunity here to flip the field in their favor.
They're rushing 3. South Alabama's been extremely conservative on these 3rd and long plays all night. This defense gets to sit back. You see 2 high safeties back there. They can keep everything in front of them. Rushing 3 and getting pressure the way they have.
So 3rd and long, Trotter, sacked, hit immediately. Georgia Southern brings the blitz, and what a stand by the Eagles. Benz Josue on the attack.
What a great job on the timing of this play. You see him backed off. He's barely on the screen in this spot and comes screaming. Now that body posture, lean towards the outside, and then right at the snap, darts in, makes a great play as the end of the other linebacker take the offensive line upfield.
So Scott Sloan, the defensive coordinator, dials one up perfectly. Josue the sack. And now the punt for Brooks out of his own end zone. And they did exactly what they wanted to do, which was flip the field. And Shai Werts and Georgia Southern get the ball in South Alabama territory when we come back. Tonight's game flow brought to you by Progressive. Last drive, Golick Jr., big stop for the defense.
Some tough running by Carlos Davis early on, but then you see the pressure getting home for Georgia Southern, and a great design on the blitz here. Josue getting home, and now setting them up right at the 50-yard line for this offense that needed some big plays to ignite it when it's backed up in its own territory. Starting at the 50, all of your triple option elements are in play right here that were hitting for you on all cylinders at the end of that last touchdown drive.
They got the field flip. And again, Georgia Southern has been able to string a play here and there, but this field position gives them a perfect opportunity here with 10:47 left, tied at 17. Werts gonna keep it. What a great run by Shai Werts on 1st down. The patience Werts showed there, did not pitch it to Wesley Kennedy, and a gain of 18.
This is that old Green Bay Packers student body right. Everybody out in front of him. 15, J.D. King getting just enough on that play right there for Shai Werts to ride the wave.
He was just able to chip the blocker just enough to spring his quarterback. So here we go. Georgia Southern off and running, 1st down. Werts again, the keeper. Pitch to J.D. King. And again, another play, more chunk yardage. Here comes the triple option.
Potential for the eyes to get really big on defense right now. You had Wesley Kennedy hurt you on the last drive outside. Now J.D. King is going on the outside. There's a Wesley Kennedy dive mixed in here. We saw a hit big for them in the first half as those roles get reversed at times in this offense.
In fight parlance, this is body blow, body blow, body blow, with Kennedy in motion. And again, it's J.D. King off the left side, and another 1st down for Georgia Southern.
No need to take risks. Now they're in their zone. They're showing them some wrinkles. Spread formation, motion Wesley Kennedy over, and now you create the pitch man.
But I'm watching the faces of J.D. King and Wesley Kennedy. They come back to the huddle every time smiling. They know that they found something that they're going to get yards on every play.
Field position and a confident quarterback, and sometimes we see that talk about get quarterbacks easy completion. Getting Shai Werts involved in the ground on this drive early, going to pay dividends for them now.
Only 48 ball plays for Georgia Southern, but this is the time of the game where you could start getting worn down a little bit if you're that South Alabama defense. Werts elects to keep it. Gain of 2. Clock goes under 9 minutes. Georgia Southern 2 timeouts, South Alabama 2 timeouts.
And you mentioned the confidence that Georgia Southern's walking back to the huddle with every play. Now you get a little more huffing and puffing on that South Alabama side. And the minute you take your eye off one of those keys down here in the red zone, things are happening quick. Could be watching Shai Werts maybe get in the zone on the ground here finally.
Fake to King, pitch to Kennedy, kind of muddled up there, but look at the footwork by Kennedy. Touchdown, what a play. Wesley Kennedy was all by himself on that one. And that is why the coaches said, we are going to get Wesley Kennedy III the ball. Give him the electric guitar, because that play was exactly that, electric.
Outstanding individual effort.
I mean, he was in the backfield done.
But watch number 61, Drew Wilson, the right tackle, goes inside on the linebacker, stays with it, so now as he comes back, gets that one block, and you give Wesley Kennedy, that's an NFL caliber athlete with his speed. If you just get in the way on a defender downfield, just needs a small window to make a big-time play like that. We came in talking about him early tonight, and I have a feeling we're going to leave talking about him late. 12 in for the score. Georgia Southern up 7.
Wesley Kennedy getting every hug that he deserves after putting Georgia Southern up 24-17. And it's been a special night for this special player.
The coaching staff told us they were going to put them all over the field. Running touches, wildcat quarterback touches, a big play on the throwback out of the backfield. And of course, getting loose in the open field. Touchdown here before the video game joystick we just saw, and it has been all 12 all night.
Dylan Lewis to kick, Kawan Baker deep to receive. And that kick's going to go out of bounds. That is a mistake. Ball's going to start at the 35. Last possession, South Alabama, Kawan Baker fair caught it, but fumbled it, which was why South Alabama started deep in their own territory.
Free kick, out of bounds, kicking team. Ball placed at the 35-yard line, first down.
They'll make up for that, start at the 35. If I may, I'd like to offer you a player comp for Wesley Kennedy in the NFL. Former NFL, Percy Harvin type player.
That's tall order, friend. Percy Harvin, I mean, maybe one of the best athletes to wear an NFL uniform.
5'10", 180, receiver, kick returner, punt returner, get him in space. Carlos Davis not finding any space there.
Deserves every bit of the praise, there is no doubt. As the C.J. Wright and this defense stepped up big up front, we saw Justin Ellis getting home, putting them in these long down distance situations where this offensive line struggled in protection. You're going to have to keep 7 in now and just put 2 wide receivers out there. You have great players, but you've got to keep bodies in and try and keep your quarterback upright.
And if you're South Alabama, it's get up and go, get the ball to those big receivers. Now 7.5 in the fourth to give to Carlos Davis off the right side, and he is not going to shake away from Justin Ellis, who has had a nice night, especially in the second half.
Keeps great leverage. The running back bounces to his side, and now you're back in that 3rd and long down and distance here. You're trotting wide receivers onto the field, so they're going to spread them out and go for it. And this is another spot. We saw Georgia Southern take a chance last time, backed up. This area of the field, I have a feeling you're going to be able to get away with rushing 3 and playing off a bit.
This Georgia Southern defense, since the South Alabama touchdown, has stepped up. Trotter pressured out of the pocket and again brought down. Raymond Johnson led the way. And when the Eagles have needed defense the most, they've gotten it. So another punt. Under 6.5 remaining. And just a complete turnaround for Georgia Southern.
Give them credit forcing the issue defensively now. We said they've been playing back off through most of the first half, going forward at the quarterback, making big plays.
I was thinking maybe Wesley Kennedy had a little something in it for the punt return. He's going to play it safe. Fair catch at the 30-yard line. Next UFC Fight Night back in Las Vegas, Halloween. What could be his farewell fight, former middleweight champ and UFC legend Anderson Silva. The 9th-ranked contender Uriah Hall in a 5-round main event. Prelim starts Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Main card at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. ESPN Plus in English and in Spanish. To get ESPN Plus, go to ESPNplus.com or download the ESPN app.
Hey, Matt, could
Yes,
this
Mike?
potentially be a knockout drive for Georgia Southern? I'm sorry. Listen, it had to happen. It had to happen.
Did it? I mean, it did. History's going to show that it happened. See what happens here. 6 minutes left. Warts fake to King. And a keeper for a gain of 3.
Doug Sullivan, number 31 in the tackle. Great job. Outside in. Greg Stewart preaching that to his defense. Defend the triple option from the outside in this situation. You got to get a big win on second down, being aggressive up front if you're this South Alabama D-line.
It is not out of the realm of possibility with this offense. You see 248 rushing yards. They will tell you they are here to outrush their opponent. With how this offense executes, and South Alabama with 2 timeouts, they can effectively end this game on this drive if you're the Eagles. Wirtz is going to keep it. Ball comes out, but it falls right in the hands of Logan Wright.
Matt, this is the 3rd time this game we have seen a ball on the mat or a potential turnover by Georgia Southern go the other way. Shai Werts gets the ball poked out here.
What a bounce.
What a bounce. Logan Wright picks it up, but remember, this happened in the first half. Shai Werts put the ball on the ground early in the game. They recover. Shai Werts throws an interception. They strip it and get the ball back. They've been able to avoid catastrophic plays with the right bounce of a ball.
Doug Sullivan was right there for the taking. But nonetheless, 3rd and 5. And Georgia Southern's going to bang a timeout. Regroup. They see Shai Werts like, I got it. We're good. I got it. But you know what? They called a timeout. So will we. Back after this.
Timeout on the field.
A scary good matchup on Halloween night. As the Buckeyes creep into Happy Valley under a full moon. Get ready for chills. On Saturday night football.
It is going to be eerily quiet at Beaver Stadium. Only friends and family allowed at Penn State, accustomed to 110,000 plus. But they're going to play football, and we're going to finish this one out. We got a good one. 24-17, 4:35 left, 3rd and 5 for Georgia Southern. And the end around goes nowhere. Dexter Carter. They tried to dial one up, and that was great recognition by Devin Rocket in the Jags defense. Golick, did I get this?
Called it during the break, Matt. The clairvoyant Matthew Berry getting after it here.
Matthew Berry's the fantasy
Yeah,
guy.
no, it's fine. That's a fine on me. Know your teammate on this one. Devin Rocket, though, impressive job staying home.
It's
making
Matt,
a great play.
Matt to you, sir. We don't need Matthew Berry running around the hallway saying someone stole his name. And trust me, he would. Anthony back to punt. Colin Lacey deep. Big stop, South Alabama. And a fair catch out of Lacey. All right, it is all Desmond Trotter. You want your quarterback, the redshirt sophomore, with an opportunity to tie the ball game. 3:41 left, 2 timeouts, no rush. Call the offense, lead your team.
No rush here is right. We've seen them use tempo at different points in this night, but now you got to focus on protecting your quarterback. You've gotten caught in bad down and distance, long yardage situations. Don't be afraid to take advantage in the middle of the field, too. They're sitting back with those 2 safeties. They're playing off. We saw them go inside to Tolbert on the touchdown. We can live that way as well with their tight ends in the middle of the field.
So first down play called. Trotter, quick throw over the middle, good catch. That's Tolbert, gain of 9. Rashad Byrd on the coverage and tackle.
You've been leaning into Carlos Davis. You see Jared Wilson in that backfield, getting them up with the run. Now you're spreading them out 4 wide on the field. Maybe finally spring a look for Jalen Wayne. We haven't called his name much tonight, number 4 at the top of the screen.
Trotter looking right, had room to run, but he throws it over the middle, caught by Cade Sutherland. First down.
Moving, comfortable, buying time, taking what's there. This defense is playing back off, just saying we're not going to give up the big play the way they've tried to avoid all night. So you've got to keep being patient if you're Desmond Trotter.
Under 3 to play, 47-yard line. Trotter chased out of the pocket, brought down by Raymond Johnson. That's their defensive alpha, and he stepped up.
It's been a tough night. We've seen multiple bodies in there. Braden Moody, Wyatt Green at left tackle, and it hasn't really mattered. Getting the edge, so big and powerful, pushing through him right there, earning the 0 on his chest.
So an 11-yard loss, 2nd and 21, clock moving, 2:25. Trotter to throw, again pressure. Good job avoiding the rush, and again finding Sutherland.
Desmond Trotter showing unbelievable poise under pressure on this drive. They've been in the backfield nearly every play. They've had to spread this out because of the situation, so your offensive line's compromised. We've seen the last few third downs. Georgia Southern been heating them up. They look like they're manned up outside.
Gain of 16, big third down. Trotter's gonna look deep to Kawan Baker, and what a catch by Baker. Ball at the 24-yard line. And here come the star playmakers for South Alabama.
And you get him matched up on Zion McGee, who's the anchor, sort of that star linebacker in this defense, a safety body. But you get him matched up with Kawan Baker going outside, away from the middle field safety. That's a jump ball to your best player.
What a conversion by Trotter. Sutherland busy on this possession, and he's tackled immediately. So down to 1:30. No timeouts have been called. South Alabama with 2. An injured player, number 93. That's A.J. Watkins coming off the field.
They're telling them to get back out there and get ready to go. After that injury, Steve Campbell trying to buy a minute with his quarterback in the offense as they get a breather here in the middle of this drive.
There goes the clock. Ball at the 22. Trotter looks left, throws over the middle, broken up by Baker. Intended for Jalen Wayne. Saw Baker go out injured in the last quarter, but he's back on the field, makes a play, another big third down.
And you're seeing 2 safeties high back now for Georgia Southern. Middle of the field's going to be open for business again. They were painting the sideline there, got the big play to Baker. The defense seems to have adjusted. As you see 12 and 27 on that back end, that 2-high safety look.
Here comes the pressure. Blitz picked up. Trotter to the right. Throws it to the end zone. Batted away. Intended for Cade Sutherland. 4th down. Here's the ball game.
4th down, but a manageable one. You're inside 10 yards in this area of the field. You get 15 matched up. You've had him in the slot all night. Zion McGee, you'd have to imagine game on the line. The way Georgia Southern's been operating might trigger a couple of those linebackers and compromise that pressure. I think you're going to get a look. They're going to try and get 15 Kawan Baker free inside.
South Alabama has never beaten Georgia Southern. Trotter to the end zone. Caught! And they're going to wave it off incomplete. Jalen Tolbert had the ball.
Stunned offense for South Alabama. Watch Tolbert, great jump ball receiver. He gets both feet down, but he doesn't maintain possession going towards the ground, loses it against his thigh.
And that's the key. He makes the catch, but as he falls towards the turf, you see the ball moving. And he never quite had possession long enough.
And look at 13, Derek Canteen getting his hand in there at the end and actually jarring it loose. You saw it from that angle. The redshirt freshman stays with the play. Couldn't get his head turned around, but he sees the receiver's hands go up. And you see a frustrated Desmond Trotter who put a ball on the money against the D-back with his back turned.
I'll tell you this, 4th and 7. You'd made the good point pre-snap. They didn't need to score. They just needed a manageable 4th down conversion, but they went for the score. The right play was on. Tolbert had it.
Rolling on the field of an incomplete pass under video review.
And they will take another look at this, as they should. But throughout our meetings this week, with the Georgia Southern staff. They have said that Derek Canteen has matured right before their eyes. That throughout the season, he's grown. Redshirt freshman, he's stepped up. He doesn't appear to be a rookie anymore. Keep calling him rookie. They got that rookie out of him. And this, a veteran play to knock this out of Tolbert.
You see that right hand, puts it right on the ball there, going towards the ground with Tolbert, stays with it just enough. It's not always going to be perfect position. It's not always going to be a highlight reel play going up for the ball. But the wherewithal to stay through it and push through that catch point for the wide receiver. Incredible.
And that's effort on effort. Give Tolbert a lot of credit, too, for bringing that down, able to get his way to shake the defender. But it was Canteen last minute. Here's the catch as we back it up. So he's got possession there, but watch Canteen there. It's never completely controlled.
Nope, and when you're going towards the ground in the end zone, you've got to maintain control the entire way. Most people see you're going into the end zone, you just got to break the plane and you're good to go. But when you catch it in the end zone, you've got to bring it to the ground and complete the process. Unfortunately there, that's clearly not a catch.
After video review, the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
So that is good on good on good. You had Trotter with the good throw. You had Tolbert with the good effort, but you had Derek Canteen win the play and the possession, and because of it, likely the football game with 1:01 left. 2 timeouts for South Alabama. But at this point, it's looking like Georgia Southern will run their streak over the Jags to 7-0.
You're 1 first down away if you're this Georgia Southern offensive line from being able to clean up on the miscues all night for your offense. That'll be the story for South Alabama, not capitalizing on plays with the ball on the mat, an interception that wasn't. But Georgia Southern, you got a chance to run this out the way you want to.
Kennedy, the man in motion. They're just going to give it to J.D. King. That is a meat and potatoes first down possession. Here comes the first time out for South Alabama. Their head coach, Chad Lunsford, told us as we get set for SportsCenter coming up next, Bucci and Maine. They're going to have the latest, Bucci and Kenny Maine, rather. Bucci Maine. I'll butcher it enough before I get it.
It's their couple name.
That's it. Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence, again, the breaking news, COVID-19. He is out one-on-one with NBA top prospect Anthony Edwards and Adam Schefter, the latest on the NFL trade talks. That's SportsCenter coming up. We might even hand Derek Kumagan, producer to the Stars. He's going to get this ball before 11 p.m.
This has been a game we expected. Triple option team. Possessions are at a premium. You get that running clock, but the news of the day, Trevor Lawrence putting out a statement. His symptoms relatively mild, but still showing symptoms enough to put that in there. You wish first and foremost for his health and safety, a guy with such a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, he put out the statement just after the team made it official that he will not be there. Again, ACC protocol, 10 days. The test was confirmed. 55 seconds left now, 2nd and 4. And again, it's J.D. King, who's acting as a closer right now for Georgia Southern. That'll be the last timeout for South Alabama. I enjoyed catching up with Chad Lunsford, their head coach, just his mentality. And he had said this week, after the performance against Coastal Carolina a week ago, where it was 14-14 at the half, they ended up losing 28-14. He really felt that his team let one get away. And he said that he gambled on the leadership of this team to have a team meeting and let them speak freely. And it was the seniors, it was the Shai Wertzes, it was the leaders of this program that actually stepped up, aired their frustrations, and a gamble with the team meeting that he wasn't sure how it was going to go, went the right way, and it showed here tonight with these guys stepping up late in the game.
A head coach in his 3rd full season now, and to have your quarterback, Shai Wertz, who hasn't always looked great tonight, stand up in front of that team and say, hey, this loss is on me. I'm going to be better for you guys going forward. Matt, as a former player, that puts in you the desire to want to go out and be accountable for the rest of your teammates when your leader is the one doing it in front of you.
Said, when did you know Shai Wertz was taking this week seriously? He said when he texted our coaching staff at 9:01 a.m. on Sunday. And a trip and a fall, and he's going to be called down. It was J.D. King who got caught in the backfield. So there's going to be, math-wise, about 1 second left. no timeouts. And I would imagine Shai Werts is going to take the snap, run around, call it a day.
Yep, the nice easy delayed kneel in the shotgun, and this will be it for a Georgia Southern team that has survived a scare on offense with the amount of times they put the ball in harm's way. And if you are Chad Lunsford, you get the opportunity to go into this week with the win, but to be able to coach those mistakes with some tough love.
Yeah, he's going to tell you, look, this wasn't a Picasso, but this is going to be, and coaches love this.
Use the timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff.
So they're cleaning up some of the logistics here. They took a delay game penalty. Actually, they call it a timeout. It could be the final timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff.
To avoid the 10-second runoff,
which would be in their favor.
Doesn't seem to make a ton of sense in that situation, but for them.
So again, SportsCenter coming up right after us. A busy night in sports, namely in college football, with Trevor Lawrence. And that news and a big weekend. Yeah, this is a coach's best scenario. You get a win, but you also get to coach.
Nothing you dread more as a player walking into that meeting on Monday, but you get to do it with a win in your favor as they take a knee, and that'll do it.
Tell you what, we're going to see tonight in the locker room, I'm sure at some point on Twitter, Chad Lunsford giving the elbow drop to another chair in the locker room.
A direct inject of energy into this program, using that triple option every which way and getting a big-time win on Thursday night.
Final score, Georgia Southern 24-17. For Mike Golick Jr., Larisha Harris, and our entire crew, I'm Matt Berry. What a game. Thanks for watching. SportsCenter with John Buccigross and Kenny Mayne starts now.